did notice that we have onions hanging in the keeping away. What is it? Oh, garlic is what keeps away vampires. Not onions.
Yeah, I'm not trying to keep away vampires. No, I pulled the onions a couple weeks ago. And the
How long do you have to let them dry?
The potatoes. You leave them there. They'll stay good.
Oh.
So that you don't clean any of the dirt off of them. Same with your potatoes. And so you can't see it on camera, but I've got a big stack of onions hanging on one of my garage door rails.
Somewhere else too.
Yeah, there's another bucket that needs to get hung up. Those are the reds, and these are the Texas yellows.
Nice.
So I got them hanging up, so they'll stay there, and they'll stay good. Versus if you like wash them and clean them and chop them, put them in the house, cut the roots off and stuff, then they'll start to age. But I'm curious. I was telling Brittany, I'm like, I wonder if we're gonna have cigar infused onions.
Oh,
because we smoke out here on the podcast. Everything else out here is cigar infused. So
yeah,
we'll be chopping them up for some dish and cigar infused onions.
What are you smoking tonight?
The other one that you gave me last time.
It smells really good.
Yeah, I like it. A. Flores Medium Roast Cafe.
It has a good smell.
PDR 1870. Yeah,
okay, so it's like a coffee taste then, huh?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I'm going with the Old Olivier Connecticut Reserve.
It's a long one.
The Churchill. I figure we're probably going to record tonight a little longer, so I took.
Yeah, I should have brought two.
I got an extra one. It's over there too.
No, I'll have the wife throwing at us.
But so I'm walking around Walmart today with the wife. Noticed a gentleman in front of me. Do not know this fella. Fly wide open.
Wide open.
Wide open. Shirt tail sticking out of it.
Oh gosh.
So I was like, I'm gonna tell him. She's like, don't you dare tell him. I'm like, what? He probably don't know. And she was like, no. So I just kept going. I gave him the head nod and kept going. So the question is, do you tell someone?
I don't.
If their fly is open.
We just got back from Vegas yesterday, and my wife told another woman there that hers was undone. She did not speak English. So she had no idea, and Brittany's just like pointing. And finally, she looked down at her. She's like, why is this lady pointing at my crotch? But finally, she looked down and figured it out.
Okay.
But she did. I don't know. I don't.
I don't normally notice. I'm not that observant, but
right.
It was
the shirt tail sticking out. It's kind of a. I don't know how you do that.
I mean, shirt tail. I don't know, but I'm sure that there's been plenty of times where I've walked around with my fly open.
Really?
I'm sure.
But
I also usually wear really long shirts.
Yeah.
So it covers that up, so I don't ever see it.
When I go to the urinal, because we're the official urinal podcast, by the way, the urinal etiquette podcast. When I go to the urinal, I'm an unbuttoner too. I don't drop them, but I'm an unbuttoner and unzipper, and I just feel like it's a natural like motion to put all that back together when you're done.
I guess.
So I don't know how you not.
I don't know if it's necessarily that. I think it's whenever you go to get dressed. For me,
I just can't. I guess I'm so OCD. I can't imagine buttoning my pants and not zipping them up.
No. Then I guess you're always in.
Plus, don't you do like a quick mirror check?
Typically, no.
A little fit check?
I do not look in the mirror.
I'm not vain or anything, but I do take a quick check.
Sometimes I do, but not always.
Speaking of bathroom etiquette, I have a new rule. I may never do this again. This is my old rule, and you can destroy me in the comments if you think I'm a bad person. You go into a bathroom, you have the stalls, and the stall is necessary for this visit.
Okay.
All the regulars are taken, the handicap is open. In that instance, I'll take the handicap.
Okay.
Because all the others are full. I'm not going to not take the handicap when the chances of somebody coming in need the handicap are slim. But it happened.
Oh, no.
And they were waiting on me.
Oh, no.
And so you don't know. You didn't hear them roll up,
Yeah.
come out of the bathroom stall, and there they are, just waiting in their wheelchair. And by that time, there was another guy left in the other stall, so it looked like I'm a doofus or like a jerk. And I went to the handicap for the extra. Larry the Cable Guy used to have his routine about he always took that one because that was like the king of the pooping stools. You know, you got the bars for power grabbing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do it anymore. Like if I go into the bathroom and all the regulars are taken, I'll just wait.
I think that's probably a good rule of thumb.
I felt horrible. And then you want to kind of explain yourself, but this guy's just trying to get to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, they were all taken when I said, okay, bye, sorry. So that's new rule.
Yeah. I think I have noticed of late So went into a new building the other day. Noticed that newer buildings are really starting to put walls up in urinals, like Buc-ee's, like Buc-ee's.
I think
that's becoming a norm.
I think we talked about this before. It seems like most of the places I go that don't have dividers are like schools. Like
it's because they hang on the walls and it falls out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's because the students mess it up. But I can think about one of the stadiums kids play at, the Performing Arts Center in our town. You go in there, no dividers whatsoever.
I think it also is probably if it was built before, like
these are the newer
2018.
Ones. It's the newer middle school and the Performing Arts Center, which are both pretty new.
Okay,
and it's like I feel like there should be something there.
I kind of agree with you. But that transitions into our next point. Did you see the video of the dad that took his 2 daughters into the women's restroom at QT?
I did. Let's play it. You want to play it and talk or talk first?
I want to play it first, and then I want to give you my wife's response to it.
Oh, okay.
Before you start, though, I do want to express the fact that there was a QT supervisor that is a female in the restroom with them the entire time.
If you watch the video closely, after she shuts the door on the dude on the phone, she apologizes to the dad.
She does.
Which is great. Oh, man.
No sound?
Hang on.
We got to fix it. So for those that are just kind of listening and not watching on the YouTube or on the Twitch, a couple of weeks ago, there was a man who had 2 daughters. They appeared to be about between the ages of 3 and 5, and there's 2 of them. He takes them into the women's restroom because he's obviously at a gas station, and he didn't feel comfortable sending them in alone. And I've been in this situation before. The video had sound on Twitch, by the way. We just can't hear it.
That's odd.
Okay, now we got it.
I'm standing in the doorway of the ladies' bathroom. Okay? My wife, there is a man with his 2 little girls using the women's bathroom.
Wash your hands, baby.
He is. He's washing his hands with his daughters right now. He is leaving it.
It's all right, baby.
She is waiting to use the restroom with her mother, who is very ill
Wash your hands.
and who is on oxygen.
It's okay. Some of them are just immature.
And he's refusing. He's taking his sweet time.
I have 2 girls washing their hands.
You let this lady, this woman is she's a woman. She can bring her daughters in here. She's a manager of the QT.
I'm their
You
dad.
can ask her, I understand. And you don't have any business bringing her into the women's bathroom.
They're girls. They go to the women's bathroom.
As soon as he leaves the women's bathroom, I will. I'm standing in the doorway. And he's taking his own sweet time. Hey, sweetheart. This is ridiculous, man.
I am so sorry.
It's okay.
And that is the manager who's speaking now.
Immature.
Here you go, bud. Right here, bro.
We had a little bit of a conversation outside
All right,
the
come
bathroom. I don't know if you saw that much of it.
I did. I saw the whole video.
Yeah.
On my hand.
Well, okay, so
Yeah, we can stop it.
yeah. I here's the thing. I think that there is such a gap between I don't know exactly how old the guy was on the phone, but he's probably in his late 50s, early 60s, maybe even 70.
Yeah, I'd say that.
There is definitely a gap between like a guy who is that age, who probably, if he did have daughters, would not have taken his daughters into the bathroom, and that was perfectly acceptable for that time period.
Yeah, we just let them go by themselves.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I think my more accurate depiction is in that time period he wouldn't have been alone with his daughters.
That's okay.
The daughters would have been out with the mom, not with the dad. And I'm not saying I condone that at all. I've got 3 daughters. I take them all the time.
No, yeah.
But I think it's more likely that he's probably never taken his daughters somewhere by himself ever.
That's fair. That's a fair.
I'm glad he got fired from his job.
And he did get
He's a jerk.
fired. He's a
Well,
jerk, and
sort of. He's a realtor. He's a 1099, but the realty group that he worked in No, said they no longer needed his services. So
Well, and the other thing is too is like there is such a cultural shift that happened, and this dad is well aware of that cultural shift.
yeah,
And so he's trying to protect his daughters, excuse
Yeah.
me. Also, it's very apparent that the manager recognized the cultural shift
Right.
and understood what he was trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know if there is not a video that there was a conversation apparently that he had with the manager saying, "Hey, I need to take my daughters to the bathroom. Do you mind standing at the door
Oh, okay.
while I'm here?"
I didn't know that.
That was
but
like
I know he's
several
come back
reports.
out and said some more things after.
And I think he did the right thing.
He did.
Now,
Daughters do not need to be in a men's restroom ever because I don't need my little girls eye level with a urinal.
yeah.
Like, let's just put it to you straight.
Yeah,
And, here's the
and-
thing. If you're a dude going into a women's bathroom without daughters and you're a creeper, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay? If
And
you're
that guy's right for calling the
And-
cops on a person that does that. Not this
absolutely
situation.
right. Not this situation. Furthermore, and ladies, I'm not going to speak for you, but your bathroom is all stalls. All right? It's all private transactions. I understand, I'm not saying guys should be allowed in there and that's okay for guys to go in there because of that, but it is not that way in the men's restroom.
No.
In the men's restroom, like we just talked about, even some without dividers, you got it all out there just in the middle of the room when you walk right in the door. It's not that way in the ladies' restroom. It's all stalls. I can't speak for women, but if I saw a dad like that with two daughters there at the sink let them wash their hands, I don't know that I'm not a woman, but Mel Gibson made a movie about that one time. Now, guys, here's a question. Here's a way to ask this. As a woman, would you have a problem going to the stall, to your stall? Or would you just hey, this is a dad, they're washing their kids, I'm going to pause for a second and then I'll feel comfortable
I think
going
it
in?
depends on the emergency of the situation.
True.
If it's an emergency situation, I would imagine that they just keep going
Yeah.
and just go in and get their business handled and leave.
Yeah.
I think if there's any chance that you can hold it another minute,
Yeah.
then you're good to go. By the way, you're getting some giggles on your private transaction.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, you just said men don't have private transactions, but all women have private transactions. That's a very accurate statement.
That's
but my
the
wife was
accountant talking.
My wife was basically exactly what you said. She was like, "Wait, so when you go into a men's bathroom, you don't see everything?" I was like, "No." She was like, "But you don't see, everything." I'm like, "No, you don't see everything."
Yeah.
I mean, it's a conversation that you have with your son that you don't go all the way down to your ankles.
Well, it's a conversation that you can have with them. It don't mean they're going to listen to you.
Listen to you.
I got one of them still drops to the ankles every time. Dude.
Now, I will tell you, I have seen in Buc-ee's where a father will take his daughters into the stalls because it's a private room.
I wouldn't do it.
But I don't know that I would do it.
I mean, here's
now.
the thing. If you're a dad out there and you're like, I'll take my daughters in the window. Fine. Okay. If that's what you want to do. I'm just saying, I wouldn't do that. And I think this guy's completely in the right for doing it. And plus you can just tell, this guy, this dad is not a creeper.
No, he's not.
He's not trying to go in the women's restroom. The last place he wants to be is a
in that
women's
moment.
QT restroom. Come on, man.
And this came out just about the time I went into a QT restroom. And no shots of QT. They do a great job of keeping their bathrooms clean. But
Mostly. Depends on the area.
The one that I just went into was not in the greatest part of Dallas, and
Yes.
it was filthy.
Yeah.
And it was construction workers coming in and out.
Yeah.
And
if you,
and
it's
it
the
was
last place his dad wants to be, man.
no, and he definitely doesn't
get a
want to have a
life.
confrontation with this Ken that we have here.
Get a life, bro.
But yeah, I thought that was hilarious because it's just I don't think he needed to call the he did not need to call the cops.
And you could even tell the dispatcher he was talking to on the other line of phone was not having it. You didn't hear him saying, all right, the police are on their way, none of that kind of stuff. No, they were like, so
What
you're
did
saying
he
the dude's just standing here washing his hands and the QT manager's in there with him and that you got the door propped open?
Yeah.
You hear the dispatcher, you can't hear the dispatcher, but you can kind of imagine their tone on the other side of that call is
It's please, why are you still talking
why are
to
you
me?
calling me? There's people who actually need help right now, and you just called. For this? Get a life, bro.
But to circle back to what you said about the handicap stall, I try not to use the handicap stall.
You already had that rule.
I try not to.
I try not to too, but
But I would say that I have used it before. not going to say that. But we had something that I think probably only can happen in the state of Texas is we had a giraffe on the loose. On the loose. Gracie the giraffe was found today. Well, she was securely back in her home today. And so I thought, is there anywhere else in the United States that I could come up with? I did think about Iowa and like the Midwest because especially when the corn is really grown.
Oh.
It could get probably lost in a field, maybe in the mountain ranges, but I don't know that it could survive in the mountain ranges. I think if it went too far west in the deserts, it would die in the desert. So I was thinking maybe New Mexico, maybe Arizona, parts of California. But I feel like those areas are super duper small, comparatively speaking. So I think Texas, I came to the conclusion that Texas is the only place that you could have a giraffe get lost and it not be found.
Well, they did find her.
I know, but I'm saying Gracie. It was like a 2.5 week search.
It was. And I don't know, where they found her. I forget the county name, but when they show the aerial pictures, she was in some scrub brush. It wasn't, I don't know how much water was out there, but
there was a big game ranch that I knew of that had a rare black giraffe. It was a rare giraffe. And you could be out on that ranch and you never find it. It was an 1,800-acre ranch.
Yeah.
And it was
that's kind of what you hope. If you
was
got
a high fence.
If you got a high fence place, you want the animals to be able to roam.
And you could drive around for hours on that thing and you'd never find it. Now you could. It was you were riding around on 4-wheelers and stuff like that, so you knew you knew what was coming. So they didn't want to be found. But yeah, I never saw it. I knew it was there, but I never saw it. So it was a fun fact.
Glad we found Gracie the giraffe.
I'm glad she's back where she's supposed to be.
Yep.
And a little bit of more current event news. Carmelo Anthony was convicted of murder.
Yeah, we haven't recorded in a couple weeks. So
yeah, I had a couple weeks off.
That's how it goes in the summertime. We're traveling and kid things and whatnot. But we were surprised. So when we recorded last time, the prosecution had rested earlier on Friday. Yep. The defense started their arguments Friday afternoon into Saturday. And so we're recording on that Sunday thinking, maybe we got another week. No, it was like a day or two.
Yeah. I think it was Monday or Tuesday.
And the defense rested really quickly. Even some of their defense witnesses weren't so great for the defense.
No. I don't know that this case could have gone any worse for the defense.
You just wonder if he was advised. I don't know if a plea deal was ever on the table.
It was. According to multiple sources that were in the courtroom. Now, there was no video evidence of things that were in the courtroom.
Yeah, sure.
But there was apparently a couple of times it was at least the topic was brought up.
Yeah.
It was never officially said what there was, but
you just wonder if he was advised by, legal counsel not to take a deal and he had a chance because it was 30 or 35 years?
35 years.
35 years.
Well, and now the judge released all this stuff. Have you seen that? All the videos are released. All of the 911 phone calls have been released. All the text messages from parents and coaches have been released.
I'll say this, I'm not trying to dampen what he did at all, but when you just see the transcript of him saying, I told him not to put his hands on me, you think that's defiant. He was crying when he said that.
Yeah.
When you hear the actual audio.
Yeah.
He's crying to that coach, upset. Told him not to put his hands on me. And again, I'm not trying to dampen anything he did. He killed the guy.
I also looked at the autopsy and I looked at all the videos that I could find because I just really wanted there to be, I don't know, I just wanted there to be a reason for it. I wanted there to be.
Gosh, it happened so fast.
An altercation.
Him and his brother, Austin Metcalf and his brother just walked into the stadium, 10 or 12 minutes earlier?
Yeah.
It's almost immediate.
Well, and I know I don't know this school's track program, but I know track.
Yeah.
This shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
This should not be a place where something like that happens. And so it's one of those things where it's kind of hard to imagine. I can see if two kids had gotten to an altercation or they had raced against each other and there was some
bad blood or some beef there.
Or some jawing back and forth, how it could very quickly escalate. But man, just the images of he only stabbed him one time.
Small knife.
Yeah, and just got him. And so I don't know. There was very minimal protesting. He has filed for appeal.
Right.
He has new legal counsel that was assigned by the state.
Honestly, like I think on appeal, that maybe his only recourse is, and this is the part of the podcast where we say we're not attorneys, where he may say like his legal counsel didn't advise him well.
That's true.
And he can, say, plea deal was on the table and try to get the sentence reduced to what that plea deal might have been. I don't know if that even is a thing or if that works, but I just cannot imagine. So one of his attorneys was Toby Shook, which is pretty famous defense attorney. He used to be a prosecutor. He prosecuted Darlie Routier, which I don't want to get into that, but if you're not familiar with this area of that case, you probably don't want to Google it. It involves a mom and kids, and the mom was the one who convicted. He prosecuted her. He defended Amber Geiger, who shot Botham Jean when he became a defense attorney, lost that case. She's in prison. Former Dallas cop who walked into the wrong apartment, thought someone was in her apartment, shot and killed a guy.
Yeah.
So it's like, pretty famous, but man, the defense just seemed to just not be non-existent.
Yeah.
Like, what do you go with it? How do you go with a not guilty defense and you have nothing?
I think that I think there's some social aspects to it. I think that I don't want to say it was a money grab because that sounds bad. Does that make sense? Like
On his family, it was.
On his family, it sounds like it was bought a new house.
Well, they said they had to relocate for like
safety reasons.
I understand that, but you don't have to go buy what you bought and the new cars and all of that. And then you say you don't have the money for a legal defense.
Yeah. That's a bad look.
It's a real bad look.
Bad look. And I just can't help but wonder if like they were trying to drag it out and the judge was having no part of that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But everything has been released. Everything that the judge had kept in house has been released to the public through reputable news sources as well, which is the first case that I've seen like this.
Yeah.
But that's sad.
It's sad all around. It's tragic for, all families involved, more so with Austin Metcalf and his family losing his life. But, looking at the evidence, like you say, it's all been put out there. I don't see how you could arrive at anything other than a guilty verdict, and they got to it really quickly. Like, I agree with that.
So one other current event thing that didn't make the list, I forgot to put it on there. Did you end up watching Maternal Instincts?
No, I didn't. You sent me the stuff, but I have not had time to sit in front of a TV, except, I can't say
the World
that.
Cup. That's different.
We've been watching a lot of soccer.
So I want you, I'm going to give you a little synopsis of it because I really would like your take on it. It's only about an hour and a half, but there's a guy on there that is basically being played by this woman. She lies to him, and it's a terrible tragedy.
There's a guy on there being played by a woman.
Yeah, it's her husband. Well, I don't know if they're
being played,
like being
not,
played.
Not the actor is a woman.
No.
Got to clarify that in 2026.
Sorry. That's true. Sorry to explain that wrong. But this guy who supposedly gets this girl pregnant, it's not a real pregnancy, and I'm not going to go into the details of all of what happens because that kind of ruins it for you. But I promise you, when you watch it and you see this guy and you're like, I know someone just like that. And like all the stories on social media are like, how did he not know she was lying to him? I'm like, I know people just like that.
Yeah.
I know off the top of my head about 8 people that are just like, well, I was just going out getting some hogs and she said that she was pregnant. So I just figured, I was just going to take care of her. I'm like, I know people in East Texas, and this is where this takes place.
Oh my gosh.
I know people that I could call on the phone right now and say, hey, that girl's lying to you. And be like, well, I just got to do what I feel is right,
Yeah.
And so.
Oh my gosh.
But the whole time we were watching it, my wife was like, this guy is an idiot. I'm like, yes, he is.
But you recommend the movie?
It's a documentary.
Oh,
It's a documentary. It's not a movie. It's a documentary, and it's a wild one. It's a wild one. Is it
Netflix?
It's Netflix. Yeah.
They just keep re-upping.
So
they come back like you watch one shocking documentary about something on Netflix and you're like, that's crazy. And then like a month later, it's like, that's crazier.
Well, did we talk about The Crash? Did you watch that one?
I didn't watch that either.
Okay, so The Crash is one where a girl drives their car, supposedly drives her car into a building and kills the 2 people inside of it. And that's the whole story, is like what happens to that.
Okay.
Well, I watched that one first. I'm like, that girl's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you watch this one and you're like, oh no, that lady is even more crazy.
You thought that was crazy.
You thought that was crazy. Hold my water.
I feel like
Because that is even worse.
I feel like Netflix is becoming like the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah.
It's like getting more ridiculous with each one, They gotta
And
find
it
the
started
crazier
with the Tiger
story.
King during COVID. So
They did start it with that was crazy. Oh, Carol.
Carol Baskin.
No cats and kittens.
But yeah, so I highly encourage you to watch it. I think you should watch The Crash first
Okay.
and then go and watch Maternal Instincts. But I think you need to watch it with your spouse.
Okay.
Because it'll be like you'll see each one of these from a different perspective than what she'll see them from.
Okay.
Because it's like, this is crazy. And you're both going to look at each other and you're going to go, this is crazy.
Yeah. I've been watching all World Cup, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to sports. But the TV I've been watching is I'm rewatching Billions.
Oh,
which is
that's a good one.
It's a great series.
I never finished it.
Oh, you got to finish it.
I
It
never
does.
finished it.
It's better in the beginning,
Yeah.
like a lot of them are.
Yeah.
Then they kind of start running out of.
Is that Netflix or HBO?
It's on Paramount because originally it was on Showtime.
Okay.
So, but if you have Paramount,
I do.
you can watch it on that. It's about a day trader, not a day trader. Sorry, that's really it's a hedge fund owner. A lot of backstory there. Some 9/11 connections.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different one because I'm thinking of the one with the family.
No, that's Succession.
I've never watched
that is on
Billions
HBO.
then.
Bill, if you like, I'll say this: if you like Succession, you'll like Billions.
Okay.
It has, Damian Lewis.
Okay.
So do you know what that is? He's
rings
had
a
several.
bell.
He was in Homeland. He was he was
okay.
the bad guy, army terrorist guy in Homeland.
Okay.
Redheaded guy. He's really good. It has Paul Giamatti is the U.S. attorney.
I like Paul Giamatti.
Maggie Siff of Sons of Anarchy fame.
Okay.
What was Jax's girlfriend? It's Jax's girlfriend in Sons of Anarchy.
I don't know.
I forget her name. Tara. It's
Okay.
Tara. So if you want like Sons of Anarchy, Maggie Siff is in it. A lot of cool. It's really great. It's the insides of a hedge fund in New York. Like it's a good series. So yeah, that's the TV I've been watching besides World Cup.
We officially got moved, by the way.
Yay.
Yeah. I have learned. I'm too old to move, man. I'm so old.
Yeah.
I thought on
You seen that reel? It's like hire movers. Your friends in their 40s don't want to break their back for a pizza and beer. That's true.
Well,
I will help you if you ask me, but I got some ailments.
I do not ever want to move again.
Yeah.
And like we didn't even have that much stuff. It's just we have 5 people. And like our older 2
much.
daughters helped so much. So I'm very grateful that we had them and they could help. But on Friday when we kind of like did the last final push, it was like a 14-hour day. And I'm just like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk tomorrow.
We got to the point where we just had boxes with the room name on it. We're just dumping stuff in there.
Yeah.
And take this box to that room and
We'll go through it later.
we'll go through it.
Well, and we had a ton of stuff delivered, like because we just sold a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But then like having to get rid of
So you got the cardboard mountain.
Yeah, like
I got a fire pit. That's how I got rid of mine.
Well, okay, our bed, the bed that we had delivered,
Yeah.
the headboard was as big as that flag.
Yeah.
And then it went from floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does this headboard have
No,
this box? It's huge.
We have a fire pit in the backyard, and we'll take the kids out there and let them literally just like let them rip the box pieces. They love it, and throw it in the fire. Like boys especially love throwing stuff in the fire.
That's true.
So
That's true. Little pyromaniacs you got going on here.
They
But yeah,
are.
we are officially moved. The house is almost fully set up. I would say the goal was Wednesday to have it all set up.
oh, that's
So
good. That's good.
That's 2 more days. So
Yeah.
I think we're gonna make it.
Well, I've been watching soccer. Have you been watching soccer?
I have been watching a lot of soccer.
We just had a good old nail biter with Germany and Paraguay.
I'm glad that the Germans lost.
I'm glad the German. I can't root for the Germans.
I
Sorry,
can't
guys.
either.
I know
We
it's
talked about this before we started recording.
too soon. But also wanted Paraguay to win because we beat them.
That's true.
And I'm that whole sports thing. If you beat one team and they beat a team, you're better than both of those teams.
That's right.
So,
I
Anyway.
think we do have a shot. One of my buddies that's into soccer way more than I am. I'm only a soccer fan during World Cup time.
yeah,
I don't watch MLS. I don't watch all the other different leagues. I do have an understanding of the game. So I'm not like completely lost when I'm watching it, but like I'm not like the relegation stuff. I understand how that all works, but it's boring to me when it's not World Cup.
we have a shot at the Elite Eight.
Okay.
We don't have a shot to win it.
I don't like, and I was watching,
It would be
Argentina
Miracle
and
on Ice if we won it.
France.
Like
and Brazil today that beat Japan.
that's the thing. Like if it puts us, no, Argentina's on the other side of the bracket, but I think if we win and France wins, we'll play France in the Elite Eight, and I think that's where I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, they got two guys that are really good.
I think
Mbappe's good, and then the other guy they got
I don't think
really
we beat.
good.
I don't think we beat France. So I don't know, but I'm excited. We've been watching a ton of World Cup soccer. I've had it on, been paying attention to it. It's been a good time, but more so than the actual watching the soccer. The Euros love America.
They do, and I don't ever want to hear anyone say again that doesn't live here that we don't have culture.
No,
and I think too, it's been really interesting. Hold on, let me start at the beginning of this. We've talked a lot on the podcast about how social media has changed a lot of things for the negative and the positive.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those things where the world is getting a first-person view of all of America.
right.
From LA to Dallas to Houston to Kansas City to I think they're in
Even New York,
even New York,
Seattle,
St. Louis.
Atlanta.
Some of the friendlies were in Alabama.
Uh-huh.
I just think that the world is getting to see exactly how much culture we do have.
Right.
And how different it is. Like my parents went up to Paladuro Canyon, and there were some people from Norway there.
Uh-huh.
They were coming. I don't know if they were coming from Kansas City to Dallas, or if they were just gonna take a day trip out to Paladuro Canyon. That's a 6-hour drive.
Yeah, it's from where we are. Yeah,
from where we are, it's a drive. But I really want to say, like, I think it has been a 100% success.
Yeah.
Like watching the Japanese fans come to Dallas and eat barbecue,
yeah, I saw that
and visit Buc-ee's and go to Costco and Walmart.
Buc-ee's has been a hit.
It has been. We know.
Buc-ee's has we've been trying to tell you, and you stupid people in Colorado that didn't want a Buc-ee's, you're wrong.
And we have ranch.
Even the Euros now know how a big hit that Buc-ee's is, and you didn't want it in your fine state. But we just got back from Vegas. Vegas is normally pretty international. You know, like I say,
Yeah.
But it was very international for World
bet.
Cup. Because if you're flying all the way from Europe, you're probably going to go visit Vegas.
Right.
You know, you're going to make it a trip out to see Vegas and some other landmarks while you're over here. And my goodness, it was very, very international. It was a lot of fun just to run into people and to get their take on America.
Beaver nuggets are TSA approved.
Yeah, they are TSA approved.
But I found it. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to the hate that was being thrown at the United States and North America, because Canada and Mexico are involved in this as well. But I did, like, the only negative thing that I have to say, and this isn't really a shot at, this is a political take, and maybe we need to move it down, but that's fine. I don't like the way that the Iranian team is having to go in and out of the country.
Yeah.
I think that there should have been a way that the delegation should have been able to work out to where they could have stayed close to the stadium under a tight watch. Whoop, that fell. Whoops. Got that. I'll clip that. Oh, fell right on top of me. But I think that we should have figured out a way to make that to where it wasn't that, because that's the only stain that I've seen.
I don't know if that was always the plan or if it's because they tried to bring in people with them.
Yeah.
Originally.
And maybe.
And so if that was, I think I support it if it's like they tried to bring in spies.
Oh, okay.
And because they did originally, there are people known. I mean, that's what we're told. And so I get it from that standpoint. But if that was always the plan, like they were always going to have to do that, I don't think it was. I think it was changed because of that incident from the very beginning.
Okay.
And they made them go
That's
back
fair.
across the border to Mexico, because I think they played their first game at SoFi.
Yeah.
So I think they made them go into Tijuana.
They did. And they had to leave immediately.
Yeah.
Get on a bus and go back.
Yeah.
And I that's been the only stain. And I don't also want to hear about how Americans are not accepting of culture either.
No.
Like you see the orange bus, and so the first time that it happened, I think it was in Houston, right?
Yeah.
And you had like people in the streets handing out water.
Because they brought it on a ship.
Yeah.
And they brought it into Galveston.
Oh, okay. I
So
didn't
it
know
showed
it
up
came
in
into
Galveston first, the port of Galveston.
Okay.
Came into Galveston first, and like Galveston's 45 minutes from Houston. So they came up through Houston. Then it was here in Rockwall.
Yeah.
Like it was at our Walmart and at the harbor.
And everybody, it got bigger and bigger. And then in Kansas City, did you see they were an airplane was taking off, and you could literally see the orange T-shirts down the street. It was probably 8 to 10
because
blocks.
they do that whole walk to the stadium.
Yeah,
thing.
they walk to the stadium, and Americans are being involved in that.
Yeah.
If I had been able to get there, I would have gone. That would have been cool.
I don't know much about the Dutch or the Netherlands as far as their soccer team goes, but I was cheering for them.
I was
just for that reason.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, all right, now I'm a fan of you. You know?
And then the Norway fans went to some golf tournament to support a Norwegian golfer,
I know.
and they were doing the row as he was fixing to putt, and then they stopped. He putted, and then they finished the row, and like Americans were involved in that too. And so I think that it's just amazing to watch the light be on America and Canada as well, and Mexico.
Yeah.
I want to give that shout out too, because it's just interesting to watch how everybody is responding to this. I do think also, I don't remember if it's in the politics part, but watching like Trump is now trying to get the World Cup back in 38. Have you seen this? And so he's now gonna.
Now's the perfect time.
Now's
to
the
petition.
perfect time because everyone has been lied to. So that's a transition to what we're about to show you.
I got a couple of videos. The first one's kind of a montage. I'll play a little bit of, and then I'll quit it. But then I have another one that takes place in Texas. I think is pretty cool.
I feel like I've been lied to my entire life about America.
America, it is happening. Do you see it? People who aren't American, who have travelled to the World Cup, are realising they've been lied to. Before travelling to America, foreigners would just think America is this place they would hear about on the news all the time. It's a horrible place. But when you strip that back, like I've been doing for years, travelling America, so many different states, you realise the beauty of America, the different cultures, how amazing the people are. And the World Cup has allowed people outside of America to see America through their own eyes, not through their country's media eyes. This is incredible, and I couldn't be happier for America. The world is realizing when you strip back the negativity you get, and you realize how beautiful
Sorry, Twitch.
America really is.
Free refills. Not a thing in Europe.
Yeah, welcome to America. You know, I used to be little like you.
Ich will essen alles. Oh mein Gott, Martin.
Look at this. This little bag of popcorn for the size of an adult's arm.
What?
The size of an adult's arm.
So you like shopping in America a lot better, honey? We've already got 3 items.
All this car stuff, I'm in heaven. What's happening? I can get bread, milk, and an air rifle.
Okay, so I'm in America.
This is great.
Guys, the yellow school buses are real. The whole life I thought it was just cartoons or the telly that would show these yellow school buses, and I was like, it's not real. It's just for the telly. Blimey, it's real. My family don't believe me. I'm gonna catch me a picture tomorrow.
I just love it, man. Like, it's so good. And I've seen a lot of the reels, and I got one more to play about a couple in Texas that'll be cool. But I've seen more than one, like 5, 6 of them saying you can just walk in a store and buy whatever you want.
Yeah.
They have everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
I didn't realize
Capitalism's cool.
Capitalism is cool. But I also didn't realize that they didn't buy groceries for long periods of time. I saw a story about how they only buy groceries for a week. And that has to do, now this is a negative about it. It's because of all the preservatives that we have in our food.
Right.
That's why bread can sit on the shelf for a couple of days and not go bad.
I have a podcast I listen to, and he's Italian, and his parents are still in Italy. And he talks about they still shop every day.
Yeah.
They go to the store and get what they need for that day.
Yeah.
And bring it home.
And I think too that I want you to play this clip, and then I want to talk about that just a little bit too. But it's also fun to see our country through another person's perspective.
Right. This is in Texas, so of course I had to bring you one from Texas. There's a ton of them in Texas because we have 2 World Cup sites. California does too, because they have the Bay Area where the 49ers play, and then SoFi. But here we go.
through the muck of South Central Texas. Drew Haas invited 2 couples from Poland and France to his 30-acre spread for a 2-day taste of Texas.
I want to show them my Texas and get them to experience that because I wanted to open the world up to my home. My soul's been lit on fire.
Your soul's been lit on fire?
Been lit on fire just seeing all these people enjoy themselves here.
Let's do some cowboy stuff.
David Mazur and Martina Bijinska live in Silesia, southwestern Poland.
And you're going to go out, and then you're going to grab my hand right here. Just
Haas
like
taught them to dance the 2-step.
I would say it's all new to us. My dad grew up watching like John Wayne westerns. You just want to see it for yourself.
I was a bit skeptical about it, but then I just feel like, yes, I can do this all day.
Haas also took them
Buc-ee's.
to Buc-ee's. This one has 98 pumps and aisles of
Just
Americana.
small for a Buc-ee's.
Think about it. They were smitten by a mega gas station.
This is the America that I want to live in. This is the America that I know it can be.
Turns out America is her own best ambassador.
We really love this lifestyle. We enjoy every second of it. We just want to like soak it in.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I want this to continue.
Yeah.
And I think it's perfect timing. I don't know if Trump had the vision of like having the America 250 as the World Cup was going on, but like this has been a great like push for America that's not political.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was this video, or I think another one I was watching where they said, "I love America." You got motorcycles doing flips and like because they had that in front of the White House. The gosh, what's that group called? I forget, but
I know what you're talking about though.
Something circus, Nitro Circus.
Yeah, Nitro Circus
in front of the White House, and you got all the liberals, all the blue hairs, like, oh, I cannot believe we had, clutching their pearls about like dirt bags. Hey, some Americans are into that.
Yeah.
Newsflash. Yeah. Like, hey, if it's not for you, don't watch it. Like the UFC fight.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not for you, don't watch it.
Did we talk about that?
We didn't because it hadn't happened yet. We haven't recorded in a minute.
Yeah, gotcha. We can talk about it later.
Yeah.
The politics of it.
Politics. I loved it, man. I love
I'm
this.
enjoying the World Cup. I'm also enjoying it more because my son is enjoying it. And so like he wants to watch it.
Yeah.
Like he wants to have it on. He's a Messi fan. He gets a giggle every time the British announcer goes, and the little man with the magic foot.
Yes.
And I'm like, because he's a little guy, so he loves that.
Yeah, but here's the question. I'll ask you. I have my answer. I'll give you, and I want your answer. Does America's newfound love of soccer remain after this?
No.
Because
it starts in August.
Football.
Real
American football. And here's the other reason. You are watching the best of the best from each country play.
Exactly.
Like, we've got the star of FC Dallas is not even starting on the Croatia team.
Yeah.
Peter Musa. I think he might have started one game, but he's not a regular starter. And he is the star of our soccer team, which is not great. Like our team in Dallas is not just super awesome. They made the playoffs and went out in the first round last year. But I follow soccer because my sons are so into it. And they follow it as well. But I don't think this remains. I think America loves the World Cup. Once the World Cup's over, we're going to be back into like getting it closer to playoff baseball and football, and then the NBA season starts up, and like we'll be back to our normal American stuff again.
Well, and sports radio right now is not even talking about World Cup soccer other than just a couple of segments. They're talking about NBA free agency.
They'll talk about things that happen, like big,
like the big games.
Well, not even just the big games, but like, if I don't know,
like they'll be talking about it tomorrow and Wednesday because that's when America plays.
Not only that, but they'll do that, but they'll also talk about like the Germany Paraguay game.
Yeah,
going after full time plus an overtime period, and then to penalty kicks, and then extended penalty kicks. Like that's notable. Yeah. They'll mention it for 2 minutes, and if you're not listening that 2 minutes, you're not going to hear it.
But
it's
also
going to be back to NBA free agency, like you say, and training camp.
But also the best American player, Christian Pulisic, doesn't even play for America. He plays in I think it's AC Milan, which is in Italy.
And he's been hurt and came in the second half of the third group stage game. So
I think if it would have been a do or die, like if they hadn't won that first game,
right,
and hadn't been very confident in the second game,
I think the reason he came in the second half was more of a not wanting to have rust when they get to the group stage. Oh, no, sorry, the knockout, the round of 32.
Yeah.
Than needing him.
Yeah.
Because yes, we watched that game in Vegas. So a fun, place to watch a game like that with people, but it's, we didn't win, which is kind of a bad taste in your mouth, but you also didn't need to win it.
Yeah, it was okay.
It made zero difference to the standings.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of weird too, though, because like American fans are going to lose interest when it's not like there's not something at stake for
that's
it.
something else I was going to say. Like America is loving the World Cup right now because it's really good to have something good to watch.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, baseball fans, but we've talked about this. I've said this before. I will listen to a baseball game.
Yep.
But I'm not sitting in front of the TV watching the Rangers play like I sit in front of the TV and watch the Cowboys play.
Right.
And the NBA Finals is over. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's, I don't know. America's in it. When America's not in it, I think you're going to see a big drop off then. And then when the World Cup's over, I think it's over. It's like, okay, we're back.
Well, we'll continue to watch it in our house as long as Messi's in it.
Yeah.
As long as there's
he probably will be till the end when he plays France. I think it's France, Argentina, and the final.
I think I don't have a hard opinion one way or the other.
Things can happen, but that's my guess. That's where I've got my bracket anyway, because my oldest son is all about the brackets for everything. He makes everybody do a bracket for everything. We didn't talk about the Knicks though.
Yeah, the Knicks won. I watched the game. I was happy for the Knicks, which was kind of odd. I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm a Jalen Brunson fan,
right?
But I'm not a Knicks fan. Like I don't root for the Knicks.
Yeah.
One of the YouTubers that I follow is a Knicks fan, so I don't know if I was interested in it for that, but I was happy for the Knicks. But I also think I don't like the Spurs.
Right.
I was rooting against the Spurs, and I don't really like Wemby.
No.
And you put a thing on here, or maybe I did. I don't even remember.
I did it. Yeah.
Is Wemby a bully? I think so.
Yeah. He was in this series.
And
some of that stuff, I get it. Again, I'm the one on the podcast that does not watch a lot of basketball. I'll watch the playoffs and the finals usually, and that's it every year. Maybe catch a game here and there. But some of that stuff, dragging Jalen Brunson down by his head a couple times, that kind of crap. I will say he is a force. I think he's too young. I think he's immature, but I think he is going to be a force in the league because just from my perspective as a kind of outside looking in basketball watcher, he could be, and I don't know where you call this stuff. I don't know what the position is, but he could be under the hoop and somebody could be out on the edge to shoot a three, whatever it's called. I don't know. Fill in
the post.
We'll fill in whatever you want.
Okay.
So he could be there.
He could be in the post.
And somebody could be in the wing,
in the corner,
shooting a three.
Corner three. Yeah.
Which I do know Dirk did a lot of those.
He did.
He was famous for those.
Well, sort of.
Well, he won one of our finals games.
Yes.
Was it the last final game when we won our championship in 2011 with that shot?
A layup.
Okay. Well, in one of the finals games we won, he shot a three from way over there.
Yeah.
It was just typical.
That was kind of the nail in the coffin, but it wasn't the winning shot. But
typical Dirk. But Wemby can get there just because he's so tall.
Yeah.
He can take 2 steps and jump and put his hand up, and he's going to be he's blocking that shot, which I don't know that I've seen anybody do that. But I haven't watched a lot of basketball, so he's going to be a force.
He's one of one in that case.
Yeah, it's crazy. But my son's a big Knicks fan, so I was rooting for the Knicks the whole time. It was a great series.
It was good. It was really good.
It was a great, except for the game that Trump attended when they lost.
Yeah,
that game got away from him, but all the games got away from the Knicks, and they came back.
Yeah,
it was crazy to me, and maybe you can speak more to this as a coach and more of a basketball fan, but how the Knicks could come back, what the heck happened to San Antonio?
It showed veteran
29
leadership.
points.
It showed veteran leadership. It showed coaching. Coaching doesn't matter in the NBA until it does.
Yeah.
And I think that their coach helped. I can't think of his. I keep wanting to say Mac Brown, but that's not right. But their coach has been in that situation before where he's had a team behind. I think that Wemby is young. They didn't have any super veteran leadership, and that hurt them. I think if they had Chris Paul as kind of their point guard, which he was on the team at one point, that might have helped. But I don't know if that would have been a defensive liability against Jalen Brunson. So that kind of is a moot point. But yeah, I was rooting for the Knicks the whole time. He's got to stay healthy though.
Yeah.
With a body like that, you will see those ailments start to come up. He is in great shape, and if you watch his workout regimen, I don't think that he's going to see any problems in the near future, but I can't imagine that he'll be around the league like a LeBron.
Wasn't there a
situation.
Chinese guy that was super tall like that?
Yao Ming, but he was big. He wasn't very quick, and he couldn't handle the ball. He was a post, but that was in the Shaq era. So like you had Shaq and kind of Elijah Wan was kind of on the end of his career, but Shaq and Yao Ming were there. But probably the most famous guy that's kind of he was a first round pick was the first pick was Greg Oden. And he ended up having fractures in his knees, stress fractures in his knees, and I don't even think he really ever played.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm interested to see how the NBA and free agency does play out. The Mavs had two picks in the first round. I like both of them. I like the Coach Day that they hired. I'm not a Michigan fan by any standpoint. I'm a Duke fan, but I hate it as a Duke fan, but I like it as a Maverick fan. He's a young guy. He knew who he was picking, so I like that.
Yeah.
I like the front office moves that they've made. I liked Jason Kidd because I'm a Mavs fan, not really him as a coach. He did an okay job, I won't say, but he's a veteran coach. Like he wants to coach vets. He wasn't a coach that's gonna be able to build a team, and that was proven with the Bucks and the Nets.
Got it.
So I think that they probably made the right move there. I think I would have liked to have seen one more year, maybe, because I think if you get Kyrie back, Cooper Flag, there's some talk of maybe picking up Kawhi Leonard, which I'm not a huge fan of because I think that's a rental and you're going to have to give up picks to get him. I think we need to stash our picks. But
so do you think this next year for them is a go for it year or still like a rebuild, or what are they going to?
I mean, Kyrie's 34, and he's coming off of a ACL injury. So, and he took the whole year off, which is great. I think that was probably a good move by him and the organization if they're planning on keeping him.
Yeah.
If they're planning on keeping him and having him and Cooper, I think they should keep everybody and just run it back. But, Derek Lively the second or whatever, Derek Lively third, he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Gafford's got to stay healthy. PJ Washington's got to stay healthy. So they have some pieces. It just kind of depends. Like if Oklahoma City's healthy, you're not beating them, and if the Spurs are healthy, you're not beating them.
Isn't Luka hurt again?
No,
I thought
no. But LeBron,
gosh, how old is he now?
he's 42.
That's getting up there, right? How long did Michael play?
Not that long.
Yeah.
He's played longer than that. Now he has not signed a contract yet. So right now the rumor is that he's going to go to Golden State, play with Seth, Draymond, and then AD is the one who gets traded there. So
as his
last hoorah,
his final tour.
But that would be fun to watch. But I don't
if he's on the court.
If he's playing and they're healthy.
Yeah.
But you then got the Hornets just traded for the two best 3-point shooters in the league, and then they already had Con Knipple. I know this is all in one ear and out the other for you.
No, I'm listening because I was going to ask you. Didn't Houston got LaMelo Ball, right?
No, he went to where did he go? He went to Minnesota.
Oh, I thought Houston got somebody.
No, I don't remember Houston getting anybody.
All right.
I'm sure they have picked up somebody, but
because I don't like them, so
I don't remember who it was. But they, I think the Hornets could be a force. Man, they're going to shoot so many threes. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be fun to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to hop into the interesting studies?
I got a topic.
Let's roll.
So I've been hearing a lot about this, and through like fitness and like health and podcasts that I listen to. It's been very interesting to me as a, 43-year-old with a couple of parents in their 70s who have lost, people in their family to Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
That's not technically the reason how my grandmother passed away, but she had it, and then COVID happened, and we weren't able to go visit her and kind of keep her on the straight and narrow for getting her protein in.
Yep.
And, it was really quickly, she passed away March 23rd. That's how fast it happened.
And I lost both my grandmothers to dementia and Alzheimer's as well.
Yeah, it's
same day.
Oh yeah, I remember that story. I don't have any grandparents still living at this time in my life, but I've seen it affect family. And so a lot of the fitness people and health type people I listen to are bringing up studies, and they've been talking about recently how Alzheimer's is being called now type 3 diabetes.
Yep.
Because diabetes, I'm trying to say it like Wilford Brimley, diabetes.
Just say it. Diabetes.
Just diabetes. It has to do with insulin resistance. And so this is where we say we're not fitness podcasters, but basically your muscles on your body convert glucose to energy.
Right.
That's extremely broad of how that happens.
Right.
Okay, but a very extremely broad. When you don't have a lot of muscle or skeletal muscle, your muscles then become what they call insulin resistant. And that's where you get the high blood sugar because that sugar is not being converted to energy. It's staying in your blood and you get diabetes and you get those problems. Well, they're looking at this with Alzheimer's as a type of diabetes. They're calling it type 3 diabetes because it is affecting your neurons in your brain require a ton of energy. And if your body is insulin resistant and cannot convert sugar and your intake, your fuel, into energy, then your brain starts to suffer because of it, because your neurons don't have that energy for brain function, for simple brain function. And so this isn't just some fitness bros talking about this. I linked some studies. We could throw them in the socials if you wanted to. But the Radiological Society of North America has a link of muscle loss linked to the development of Alzheimer's. The Journal of American Geriatrics said they did a long-term study, and they showed that each unit of increase in muscle resulted in a 43% decrease in Alzheimer's risk. And elderly people they were looking at, and I'm talking about not necessarily, I don't consider somebody who's 65 as elderly.
Right.
That's usually the threshold for this. And then there's another study where they did about 8,300 adults aged 65 to 86, and they determined that low muscle mass independently connected to faster executive function decline over a 3-year study. And so you've got the fitness guys talking about this and the importance of continuing to build muscle, and then you've got these medical journals and associations saying that they are noticing a direct link, an independent link, like it's not caused by other potential factors. They're able to actually link now low muscle mass, low skeletal muscle mass to cognitive decline over a lengthy amount of time. And I think that's, Alzheimer's is not new. Like it's been around a long time. They just didn't know what it was, 100 years ago.
Right.
Now that they have it and they know what it's called, and now they're able to show these links, I think it's important to talk about the importance of, like weight training and building muscle and not allowing yourself to lose that skeletal muscle. Where I'm going with this is I think the GLPs are going to be a problem for this. There was a study that, and I'm talking about the semaglutide, Wegovy, all of those, tirzepatide, that they call it, it's known in society as the fat shot because it suppresses your appetite, slowers the emptying of your stomach, so it makes you feel full longer, and it makes people eat less. I was having lunch with a group a week or so ago, and a guy, ate like half of his plate. And he's like, on the tirzepatide, I just can't eat as much anymore. And I'm looking at his plate, and I'm like, man, that's like hardly any protein on it, and you're not eating. Like, that's not good.
Yeah.
Now, side note, if somebody has studied this as well, they did have some studies, some short-term studies that showed that these GLPs actually helped with insulin resistance. In these patients that are susceptible to Alzheimer's, the 65 to 86-year-old patients, that's not the case. It can help with insulin resistance, and that's where it came about, was for diabetes. Like these drugs, the semaglutide, Wegovy, the GLP-1s, GLP-2s, and now we even have GLP-3s, were initially developed for diabetes, for insulin resistance.
Yes.
In younger people, especially in childhood diabetes, it can help a lot.
Yes.
It does not help whenever you get to the older ages. Now the studies have come back and shown that it's not helping there. And so, like, you have these people on these GLPs, but here's the thing. If you're on a GLP, you should go get a DEXA scan. That's basically an MRI for your whole body, and look at what your muscle mass is, and then go back in 3 months and look at what it is. Because what they're seeing with people who are doing this is 40 to 60%, that's a big range, of the weight they lose is muscle.
Yeah.
Because our bodies, like muscle, it can be used for energy too.
Yeah.
Like just because you're eating less and walking doesn't mean your body's going to burn fat.
Right.
There's no trigger that says, hey, if I'm going to eat less and work out, I'm going to burn, or walk or do cardio, your body's going to burn muscle.
Right.
Because it's a more expensive type of energy source on your body, and you're going to lose muscle. So my point is, like, if you want to lose weight, well, go cut off your leg, you'll lose weight.
Yeah.
But if you want to lose fat and convert that to muscle, like, I don't know, these GLPs are the answer. And like, they're so new for this purpose, and like everybody's on them.
Well, I think
it's just like, man, it's like everybody's on them. Like, and they haven't really been used for this purpose for long enough, in my opinion, to really suss out like the side effects.
So I've known someone that's been on it for probably before COVID. Didn't know exactly what it was.
That's pre, like that's,
but
that's really
because
early.
they're pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
And it was necessary for their health, right?
Yeah.
It helped with water retention. It helped with all the things that were causing the diabetes, and to be pre-diabetic, it was helping with. It was not expensive.
Yeah. And now
very,
it is.
very cheap. Well, now it is.
Yeah.
Now it's very expensive. And so I think a lot of people look at this shot as a negative. There are people out there who need it to survive.
Right.
And so I think one of the things that's interesting to me is you're watching these people. It's very obvious who's on it and who's not. I mean, it's obvious.
Well, they say you can have Ozempic face.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I do caution people on is like, don't group everyone that takes that into one
for sure
ball of wax, because some people do need to take it. And so I think that's one of the things that's interesting. I don't know how much you read about Parkinson's. It runs in a family, in our family. And so I've read a lot of research about GLP-1s, and they're showing promising studies about Parkinson's. Yeah. So it's like, in one hand, if you have Parkinson's in your family, they're like almost kind of encouraging it, because it's like they're seeing some strides in that. Yeah. So it's like, it's one of those things where I think that a lot with like AI as well. I kind of bunch that, like, we have a lot of information coming out about AI. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. We have so much information coming out about these GLP-1s, 2s and 3s, that you just got to be careful. Because like you said, like, even working out doesn't work for everyone.
Right.
So even if you cut your diet and you do exactly everything exactly the way it is, if you have a medical condition and you have to take this, take it.
Yeah.
Because it's a better life.
Right.
But what I do caution people on is, if you don't need to take it and you're just being lazy, that's where I have an issue.
And like, I feel like people are going to hear you say that and get turned off by it.
But that's true.
It is true. Like, there's some truth behind it, because it is being marketed that way, as here's the fat shot. You don't have to do anything anymore. You literally just take this shot and you're going to lose weight. And you know what? That's true. But what weight are you losing?
Yeah. They're
seeing osteopenia in females. Yeah. They're losing bone mass because of it. Like, if you want to lose weight, that's the question. Like, if you were on this, and I struggled to put this on the run sheet for probably 2, maybe even 3 months now.
Because we've talked about it.
We kind of talked around it, but I felt like it was kind of a niche subject. But I run into so many people who are on it. Mm-hmm. And most of those, I'm going to tell you, most of those people, I'm not like giving them this download. It's one thing I like about podcasts, because like, this isn't a conversation you have in passing.
Right.
This is a conversation you have like over a little bit of time.
Right.
And so, like, if you're on it, or if you know someone who's on it, like, and you're just on it because you don't like the way you look in the mirror and you want to lose weight, or whatever reason that may be. If that's your reasoning, like you're talking about, there's not one of these other medical purposes like diabetes, Parkinson's, these things we've talked about, then you need to take steps to be sure you're not losing muscle mass. Right. And the only way to do that is to prioritize protein and work out.
Yes. And you can do them both at the same time.
Yes. You're going to eat less.
Yes.
Just be sure, you know, if you're eating something less, like, eat something that's got some protein in it, so your body can turn that into muscle. Right. Like, that's the thing. Like, I was in Vegas and we were ordering some food. We were eating at this place. Like, oh my gosh, it's called Beauty in Essex. It is one of the best restaurants in all of Vegas. If you're ever there, it is pricey. Go. It is one of these, like, they have 4 sections of the menu and you pick one thing from each section. It's like a 4-course
places.
4-course, and like, it's very good. Very good food. Some of the best food I've ever had. Rivals Hell's Kitchen, some of the best food I've ever had. And we were there, and this one guy was like, it's made to be shareable. Like, my wife and I ordered one thing from each section, but we shared it, you know?
Right.
And like, shareable plates. Well, this one guy was ordering like all of that, like 5 or 6 plates all for himself. And I don't know if his mom or somebody, an older lady who's at the table with him next to him, she's like, my gosh, Jimmy, eat a salad. And like, when people say things like that, I'm like, a salad's got nothing for you.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go on one of these shots and say, I'm just going to go eat a salad, well, the salad's got, you don't get anything. You might get some iron, some vitamin A, a little bit of fiber. That's all you're going to get.
Yeah.
Like, go eat, just dadgum, have yourself a steak and baked potato. Like, now you may only have a little 5-ounce ribeye because you're, you're eating less, but, eat something with some substance to it. Just, I don't know that doctors and prescribers, because you can just buy it online.
Yeah. Or you can just go to your local IV shop.
I don't know.
IV shop.
If you're getting all that information, and I feel like this is such a wide ranging topic.
Yeah.
In this society, again, we're not fitness, health experts or doctors. We have all the disclaimers on all this stuff.
We do observe.
Do your
people.
own research.
Like,
but just think about it. Like, it's not a magic pill. Like,
no,
you will,
those don't exist.
You will lose weight, but at what cost?
Yeah.
And then as you get old, say you lose this weight, you keep it off, and like you've met your goal. Like, you don't, you're skinny fat probably, basically, like, but you've lost the weight and you feel like you're healthier because you've just gotten the weight off. You may not be.
Yeah.
Like, you may not have achieved your goal. You may be setting yourself up at a later age for a higher risk of Alzheimer's or another cognitive decline type of disease. Like, just think about these things. It makes me want to go talk to my parents about lifting weights, like, which, they're in their mid-70s, but I want to be like, just get a small pair of dumbbells and do something.
So I've talked about my grandfather before. He was so ahead of his time. Like, he had a little weight bench in his basement, and he would go, it was probably like 20 pounds. He would go down and he'd bench press. He'd go down and he'd do sit-ups.
Yeah.
He'd go down and he'd do like 20 pounds worth of squats.
Yeah.
And then he'd get in the shower. And like, he had all these different gadgets. He laid on the ground and he would put his feet on this thing and it would shake his body.
Yeah.
Well, now that's a spinal decompression. Like, this is talking about in the 80s, in the 90s that he was doing this. And he had like a spinal decompression where he would he would hang upside down.
Yeah.
He had like a leg machine, and like, this is all way before this.
Yeah.
And so I now think about like all the he was taking vitamins.
Yep.
Like, I always joked about him, I'm like, Grandpa, you're going to be preserved till you're 90. Because he would take he had one of those old, if I've told you the story, you can just tell me to move on. But he had an old photograph film pill bottle.
Oh yeah.
And he would fill it every day. He would get up, he would fill that pill bottle and had all of his vitamins in it. And my grandma always joked, she would always say, well, if he would just put cyanide in this bottle, I would never even know.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously she had Alzheimer's and she didn't know what she was saying. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that was what he did. And that was way before his time of doing that. And so it does concern me culturally, because it's like, how do we not have those issues later on down the road?
Right.
But also we have a self-esteem issue in our country as well.
Yeah.
And so like, you just have to try to balance those two things. Like, if you need this for your self-esteem and you need to feel better about yourself and this is what is going to help, do it.
There's a way to go about it.
Yes. But also know there are consequences on the opposite side.
Yeah.
So if you don't medically need it and you're doing it to help your self-esteem, then also know that there are things that you have to do to help that.
Or even if you need it, like, just for a little jump start.
Yes.
Jump start, like, like really overweight and you need a big jump start, that's fine. But know, like, there are other steps you need to take so that you put yourself in a place of actually achieving your goals. And like, talking about grandparents, like I said, we just talked about it earlier, my grandmother on my dad's side passed away in 2020, like March 23rd, like right after COVID started. She was in a home and she suffered from dementia. But in her later years, before she passed away, she also got very immobile and very just sedentary. Whereas my granddad continued to work the cows, continued to get up, continued to work. And like, because of that, I believe continued to have muscle on his body versus letting it waste away and muscle wasting. And so, and he was 3 years older than my grandmother, and he outlived her by 4 years.
Yeah.
And how often do you see in older elderly couples the husband outliving the wife?
Yeah.
Not very common, but he continued to be active, continued to build that muscle. And so Alzheimer's with people, in their older ages, that's a topic, but also I think it's a topic for the wider audience of these GLPs and what those side effects could be. And they are just so new.
Yeah.
Like, you've really got to take a step back and say, has this really been the miracle drug that I think it is? Or is it a tool in the toolbox, but not everything?
Yeah. I think if you're using it as a tool, that's the best way to go.
Right.
If you need it for medical conditions, use it as you need it.
Yes.
But also, if you're being lazy, Don't be lazy.
You're just goading them now.
You know what I'm saying?
I
like
know what you're saying.
Like that is the hard part though, because you
it's
have to
not
find,
a magic pill. It's not a magic shot. Like,
and it's one of those things where it's like you're danged if you do and you're danged if you don't.
Yeah.
So politics. Okay, we started a new segment last time. The Congressional Clown Show, or the CCS as we like to call it. There were so many candidates for this week's
just keeps giving, doesn't
but
it?
here we go. Make sure we put it on the Twitch so you can see it.
Yeah.
This is Act Blue, Miss Wallace Jones, appearing in front of the congressional hearing, and let's just hear what she has to say. Or spoiler alert, doesn't.
Your board chairman said Act Blue accepted up to 38 million contributions in 2024 that had the signs of foreign origin. How much fraud is too much fraud?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
How many foreign contributions did Act Blue accept?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
How much money did Act Blue accept from Russia?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline.
James Langford, isn't Oklahoma senator?
Yeah.
Pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Why did your entire legal team quit? Your in-house legal team.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Did your legal team quit because of reduced fraud standards?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Understand. And we won't keep you here all day, but let me just do one more. Did you weaken your fraud standards to help Democrats?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
And the people behind her are just straight-faced as can be.
Yeah, straight-faced. Whenever I see these things on here, I just think, man, what are we doing? I know that's her legal advice was to plead the Fifth, but when you get asked how much fraud did you give to Russia or how much payout did you receive to Russia, the answer is none.
Well,
I know you can't, or you just, I don't know.
I feel like if you're going to, I don't know how you'd work this out, but it's almost like if you're going to use your Fifth Amendment rights, you should have to explain, like, to a judge or somebody under closed doors, under seal, that, hey, I actually could be guilty by saying this answer.
Right.
Because otherwise you can just not answer anything. Like, they're saying they got 38 million in foreign contributions. Like, you can't say yes to that. You can't ask your accounting team, like, how many of our donations were from outside the U.S. Like, you can't answer that.
And I don't know, maybe.
And if you answer that, that opens the door for your, personal prosecution. I don't know.
I can't help but wonder too I don't know. There was the other candidate was the same lady that was on it last week, last episode with Mark Wayne.
Yes.
And she pointed her finger at him,
Yeah.
and he pointed her finger back, and then they get into a yelling match. But I didn't want to have her on 2 weeks in a row.
Who's the finger pointer of the WNBA?
Oh, Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah.
With she plays with Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. That was the great memes that came from that.
I was watching. We were eating breakfast in Vegas one morning, and they were replaying. Basically, I'm like, here, I understand. How many games was she suspended?
Who?
The girl who put her hand on her throat.
Oh,
put her hand
one.
on her neck. Okay.
Got one.
Yeah.
Suspended one. We should have talked about it in sports.
Yeah.
Our friend of the show, Lee Wells, is letting me down on his WNBA take. I'm trying to watch it, but I just can't watch it.
No,
I just can't watch it. But last week, JD Vance did appear on The View, June the 15th.
Yeah.
I was very shocked at how the ladies responded to him.
Yeah, I tried to find clips I thought would be interesting on the pod, and I really just didn't like any of it.
Yeah.
But
okay, but what did you not like about it?
I don't think so. I agree with you. I think they respected the office of the vice president.
Yes.
And they did keep it civil.
Yes.
They didn't scream. And there was some slight some slight interrupting, but in a more conversational way.
Yep.
And so, like, I'm not one on here to try to give a bunch of kudos to the ladies on The View, but they handled it better than expected, better than I've seen others. And I just don't think, I think he could have said more with his responses. I feel like his responses were a little weak. And and here's what I mean from a debate standpoint, he accepted the premise of their question. When Whoopi Goldberg says that Black history is being erased, he accepted the premise of that question. He did ask her, what specifically are you talking about? But then he went on to say, no, we've cleaned up crime in D.C., and so we're for Black people. I'm like, no, that's not the response, Mr. Vice President. And you're very eloquent.
Yeah.
You've always had your positions well. And so I really expected more, or maybe I should say better, from him on The View. I would have gone back to say, where is Emmett Till being erased in our history?
Yeah.
Like, make them prove the point. Because when he said that, when he said, Whoopi, what specifically are you talking about? She sat back in her chair. She kind of put her hands up like, oh, well, you know, just kind of like, you've got her at that point.
Yeah.
When somebody does that, they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
They just
That
have
was just a talking point.
Have a talking point, but they can't back up.
Right.
And I would have pursued that and say, well, you know, and then Sonny Hostin chimes in.
Yeah.
And so so that's one thing. You got 5 of them up there. So you kind of have to.
Well, and your
change-
time is so short.
That's true too.
So short.
It's not a podcast.
Well, and it's not even like a late night show like Bill Maher. He was on Bill Maher this week too.
Yeah.
And I felt like he did a great job on that.
Yes, he did.
He's been on the podcast circuit.
It's normally great. I
Yes.
just think he could have done more with his responses. So there's nothing that I thought like, oh yeah, let's put this on the pod, and you know, you can go back and watch the clips, but
yeah, there was nothing crazy on there.
Yeah,
I was
impressed.
I was happy there wasn't clip worthy stuff on there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because then if you're getting clip worthy stuff, you're taking away from what he's actually trying to accomplish, which is kind of paint the Republican Party and put himself in a light of electability.
Yeah.
I think on Bill Maher, he did a great job. Bill Maher bashed the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Absolutely went to town on them and because they won't come on his show.
Yep. He brought that. He's brought that up several times. He brought it up again. He's like, you guys are the only ones who'll come on.
And I think that shows a lot of the state of the Democratic Party. It's not on the run sheet, and I kind of want to let this sit for a minute because of what happened with the elections or the primaries in the Democratic Party in New York, and the communist statements that were made by Trump. I just kind of want to let that sit for just a little bit because even Caroline Leavitt came out today, which is the 29th of June, and said the midterms is going to be between common sense and communism. And I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I need to let that sit. That's one of those things where I'm like, I'm kind of glad we don't record every day because it's like, I think my take today would be different than it will be in 2 weeks.
I don't know, but I think the problem with that line of attack, so to speak, from the Republican Party, that resonates with the base that's already going to vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's what it's for. Maybe you're trumping up the base.
Maybe.
And that's the point of that statement. But if you're trying to change hearts and minds and say, look at what we've actually done, kind of like we are to the Euros who are coming over for the World Cup, look who we actually are.
Right.
Like that statement doesn't do it.
Staying out of the Iran conflict as much as possible, getting the prices in the economy under control, that's what's going to win you the midterm.
Yeah, and I don't need to hear that the gas prices were higher under Biden.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that either.
I don't care.
I don't care.
That, they're still expensive. No, they've come down. They've come down now, but I'm talking about in the last month, 2 months, 3 months. Like I don't because the average price when Biden was here was 12 cents higher than the highest. Like it's still expensive, man. It still hurts.
It still hurts. And I did notice today I saw a $2.99 out east.
Yeah, HEB had it like $2.87.
Yeah, so it's coming down, and I've noticed also diesel prices are coming down, which will help in the grocery stores.
Yep.
So, but they got to keep them down until November.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
I'm hoping Iran doesn't have an October surprise.
It looks like it.
Yeah,
might happen. I don't know. We have Iran on the list to talk about in just a second. Well, it just says Iran.
With a lot of dots after it.
We can talk about that now because it kind of leads into the next point. But I don't think this is a solvable solution. I think that this is always going to be a problem.
And I wish that the president would have approached it that way from the beginning.
Yeah.
They're dealing with a regime that wants to bring about the religious part of it, which is their regime. They're led by a religious group. Their mission is to bring about the end of the world. That's what the religious side of this regime wants to do. Yes. They're not going to make peace with another nuclear power who is opposing them, when their objective is to bring about literally the end of the world.
Yeah.
Through their religion.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to win it.
Nope.
Like, it's not like, it's the way it always has been in the Middle East.
Yep.
It's not a political war, it's a religious one.
And you're not going to win it.
Yeah.
You're not going to win it politically.
We need to do what we need to do for our American interest. When our American interests are threatened, Strait of Hormuz, okay, or Iran developing a nuclear weapon or long-range missiles that can reach our allies, reach our military bases, that is a noble and worthy cause for us to go fight.
Right.
And so I'm not sitting here like, Rogan and some others have done and really opposing the whole thing.
Did I come off as that?
No.
Okay.
No. But like, we have a national interest in being involved in Iran.
Yes.
There is a national interest for us to do that. But from the get-go, the explanation should have been like, we're always going to be fighting this because they are always wanting to go and fight. Like, we've taken away their nuclear capabilities from where they were. We've knocked them back 100 notches. They're just going to do it again.
Yeah.
Like, inspectors aren't going to change that. We're going to have really good satellites and sniffers and reconnaissance aircraft over that country as much as we want. And if they try to shoot them down, we're going to obliterate their air defenses.
And that's what we did last time.
And that's what we did
over the weekend.
Yeah, over the weekend. And you know what? It's going to tamp down for a little bit. And then you know what? We're going to have to go do it again because these people want to kill us and everybody else on the globe.
Yes.
And we're going to try our best to keep them from doing that. But we're not going to approach it from a standpoint of saying, okay, this is going to be over in a couple months.
Yeah.
It's not.
But I think that if you say that, which I agree with you, I'm just playing the opposite side of this. You say that, then you're in an Afghanistan problem. The difference is, I understand the difference.
Yeah.
But if you the optics of that is, okay, well, now we're in a 20-year conflict. No, we don't have boots on the ground.
True.
That's the difference.
That is a huge difference. We can fight this war without putting significant, what we would consider, boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. I just think the approach needs to be that way. But then people will say, well, he said no new wars. Like,
it's not new.
It's not,
it's not new.
It's not new.
Not
like,
new.
Presidents have fought this in different ways. Obama sent him a pallet full of cash.
Yep.
To try to fight it. That was his way to fight it. He was president. He was elected. That was his mode that he was going to operate from. Trump's a different way.
Yeah.
And you just have to acknowledge that and call it what it is. I'm tired of hearing him
Biden's
say,
approach was just to let it be.
Yeah.
And that definitely wasn't the right approach.
That's probably why it's a little more difficult right now. So I think you just got to call it what it is, say what it is, be honest, and just say these people want to kill you and everybody else.
Yep.
And we're going to do our best to stop it.
Our friends out in East Texas had a great week. Air Force One was delivered to one of the Air Force bases. I don't remember exactly which one it was.
He's been flying all over the place, but it's done now.
Yeah.
But yeah, our guys, literally 20 minutes from where we're recording right now, had a huge part in this, and delivered it early, much faster than anyone else could have. And I know it was a proud day for them whenever the president had his press conference, and
I knew some people there.
Yeah, revealed the new plane. It is a bridge plane because Boeing this is the plane we got from Qatar as a gift, and so it was outfitted to be an Air Force One, down to the bones and back up again. New paint scheme, I like it.
I like it too.
I like it, and
modern,
and
I don't think that it is any diss at the old color. I just think it was time for an update.
It was
definitely time for an update.
And so. This one will finish out Trump's term, and I think in 28 is when the two other Boeing jets will be done, and I think Trump's retires to his museum.
I think that's going to be awesome. I definitely want to go see it.
We'll go check it out. But yeah, big day for Northeast Texas. The guys out at L3 Harris for fixing that plane up to make it an Air Force One, getting it painted, and getting it delivered ahead of schedule.
So, also in the state of Texas, we had a bit of a controversy. The State Board of Education, the Social Studies Department, updated their reading list for the 29-30 school year and added in biblical texts.
Yep.
We talked about this on episode 50. I brought this to the attention. I don't remember if I told you this back then, but I applied to be on this committee.
Okay.
I have a degree in social studies. I've been teaching Texas history and our history in the state of Texas for the last 15 years. I have a master's degree in secondary education. I was qualified for it. I received an email back to apply with references. I did follow through with that, and then I didn't make that cut. So I made it through the second part. I'm now thankful. I am now thankful that I did not make the cut. So I want you to read off the list that is going to be the biblical one, and then I want to add in other texts that are going to be on, because that's what's being left out of the story that the media is pushing. So what they're basically, the media is pushing is the fact that the biblical texts are being added to the state of Texas, but what they're not pushing is all the other things that are being added along with to the reading list. So go ahead, and I'll just kind of throw a little blip in of what is already and going to be there.
So specifically for biblical text from the Bible, and this is not, there's 12 passages, but they're not 12 passages for like each year. There's 12 passages for basically 1st through 12th grade of the curriculum. So, because obviously a high school senior probably needs to be reading and analyzing more difficult passages than a first grader. So 1st grade is reading about Jonah and the whale. Great story.
So in kindergarten, I want to go back first.
Okay.
In kindergarten, they will be reading The Bald Eagle, The Blueberry in the Sky, The Cat in the Hat, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, Cinderella, George Washington and the Cherry Tree. That's just part of the list. Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah.
So there's about 14 different things in there. In 1st grade, since you already said 1st grade, what did you say it was again?
Jonah and the Whale.
Jonah and the Whale. Will also be followed with The Boy Who Cried Wolf, Abe Lincoln, The Boy Who Loved Books, Ada, The Twist of the Scientist, Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone, Fox and the Grapes, The Frog and the Prince. So those are just a few. The Life of Paul Revere.
Yeah.
The Little Engine That Could.
None of those are biblical texts.
None of those are biblical texts.
That's why that's not controversial.
But my point is, keep going. 2nd grade?
2nd grade is David and Goliath.
David and Goliath. 2nd grade, they're reading about Paul Bunyan, Pecos Bill, The Magic Tree House. 3rd grade?
Moses and the Exodus.
Abraham Lincoln and Archimedes and the Door of Science, Charlotte's Web. Okay, so I'm not going to continue to do this, but I do want to get to the bottom. So go ahead and go through 4th, and then I'll get to the high school stuff.
All right, so we got Moses and the Exodus. Then we have excerpts from Matthew, 6th grade, the Beatitudes in Psalm 23 in 7th grade, 8th grade, Ecclesiastes 3 and Lamentations. That's more poetry if you're not familiar. High school English 1, the Prodigal Son. It's a story from the Gospel of Luke. It is a parable. It's not a real event that happened.
So pause. Yeah. So that would be, what grade did you say?
9th grade.
So that is English 1. So they're also reading Animal Farm, Federalist Papers 10, 51, and 51. They're reading several different Antigone, Odysseus, David and Goliath, as you just said. A Brief History of the Victoria Britain, excuse me. Night, which is a book about the Holocaust. And so those are just some of English 1.
Yep. English 2, we get an excerpt from Job, which is out of the wisdom literature, story of Job in the Old Testament. English 3, we get Adam and Eve. And then English 4, mostly seniors. 1 Corinthians 13, which is a love chapter, talk about what love is in the New Testament. So each grade has their own kind of section from the Bible, and along with everything else you said they're going to read.
Well, I just too think that I don't really have a problem with this.
I don't.
I want to have a problem with it because I feel like I should be like, oh, it's church and state, church and separated, church and state. But like they're reading it, some of them they're reading as fictional texts. Okay. I don't believe that they're fiction, to be perfectly clear.
Right.
But some of them are categorized as fictional text.
Right.
They're also reading things like Hamlet, Pride and Prejudice, Fahrenheit 451. The Middle Ages, a very short introductory to the Middle Age, Up from Slavery, 12 Years of Slaves, 12 Years as a Slave,
Yeah.
The Alchemist, of Mice and Men. So all of those, the first inaugural address, Democracy in America, The Great Gatsby, that's in English 3. So all of the texts that you and I read,
right,
are also still in there.
Right.
That's just going to be an addition to.
Well, it's not. And here's the thing, like, there's so much pushback, or there is pushback against this because they're biblical texts, but in here is wisdom literature. In here is history. Like,
Correct.
no one who knows history is denying that Moses and the Exodus happened.
Correct.
That the Hebrew slaves left Egypt. Like, you're going to read that from a biblical standpoint. You're going to read that about Moses and the Lord parting the Red Sea, and
Correct.
You're going to read it from that perspective. But that was a historical event that happened.
Correct.
Like, just like they're reading about other historical events that happened.
Correct.
They're going to read from Ecclesiastes and Lamentations. They're going to read the wisdom literature and the poetry that's in the Bible. Like, they're going to read other wisdom and poetry. And like you said, in the early grades, Jonah and the whale and David and Goliath, it's my understanding those are going to be not presented as fact from Scripture, but stories from Scripture, which you can have a whole nother discussion on that. Like you said, you and I both believe those are literal events that happened, but that's not how they're even going to be presented.
Correct.
And so there's a lot of good stuff in Job that talks about sometimes bad stuff happens to good people.
Correct.
That's a good thing for a high school sophomore to be reading.
Right.
Sophomore year is not great. Junior year is probably a little worse, but, and then Adam and Eve, like, you have a wide millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of people on this planet are Christians. Their origin story is a story of Adam and Eve.
Right.
You have hundreds of millions of people, their origin story for their religion. Like, a high school junior can't read that and decipher for themselves if they're going to believe it as fact or in their heart as a Christian or not. Like, I don't know. I think the headline is shocking. I think when you drill down into it, it's like, this makes sense for what these grades are already reading.
Exactly. And I also have read this from various sources that this is the only thing that they're reading. Like, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
They're only reading biblical text. That is not true. At all. Yeah. That is not true at all.
Like, you can't have an entire first grade curriculum based on just Jonah and the whale. Like, that is a deep dive if you're going to talk for an entire year just about Jonah and the whale.
You could probably, maybe not first graders, but you could maybe do a deep dive on Jonah and the whale for an entire year. I don't know. But my point is to say all that is the literature list is vast and it's extensive. And I'm very, very interested to see how they add this into the new testing schemes. Because, like, are you going to test this is a kind of a niche conversation, but we've had one before about this. So, like, are you going to test about what do you know about these topics before and then test them again in the middle and then in the end? I don't know. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but I'm very interested to see how this works. I'm very interested to see the response.
Here's the thing. Like, I feel like the majority, if you just polled 1,000 people, polled 1,000 Christian, church-attending Christians and 1,000 not, I think you would see the most of the 1,000 not, a good portion of them anyway, would probably be like, I don't like this. And I think you'd see a lot of professing Christians saying, I think I love this. Here's kind of a devil's advocate, for lack of a better analogy, on this. If you're a professing Christian, do you really want a secular teacher teaching your child about David and Goliath? Like, that's another thought to have about this. And so it's like, as a parent, I need to be involved. This doesn't take effect next year, but I've got a couple that are going to be in second grade next year, to be sure they know that we believe this is a true story and this actually happened. And this is from the Old Testament. Like, it takes that kind of leaning in from the parents as well on both sides of whether you believe this is fact or not, as you raise your kids as they come through the public school system in Texas.
I also think that you have to be able to, be an involved parent. If you're not an involved parent on either side of this coin, whether you're a professing Christian or you're not, you're going to have a skewed view. And if you're involved and you know what's going on, then you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
If you're not, then it's going to be a difficult task.
Right.
To manage.
Yeah.
So I when I saw that, I was like, do we put this on the list? But I think it's important because it is something that is going to happen.
Yeah.
And one other little bit of educational tidbit with the new this school year, we'll have another Texas legislative session in 27. I'm going to predict it now on episode 68 that you will see a push, like what we did with cell phones. You will see a push to have technology removed from the classroom.
Okay.
I think that you're going to see limits on Chromebooks pushed for all levels, especially younger age kids. I know my teacher friends who teach elementary are going to say, well, the test is on that. I don't think they're going to take it away completely. I think that you're going to have to figure out a way to build it into your curriculum. It can be done. I know some great teachers who have done that, who train their kids to take the test. But other than that, that's the only time that they're ever on the Chromebook.
Yeah.
But I also know teacher friends that spend way too much time on their Chromebook.
Yep.
And so it's going to be a balance, just like life. So I think that you're going to see a push from the legislative session of some sort of caps.
Yeah.
Hours in a day, minutes in a day. I don't know how you're going to track that. That just sounds like a lot of work for a teacher. But maybe you have a day where the whole school is not allowed to be on the Chromebook, and that's how you manage it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to do that. I don't know how you're going to manage that. But like as a coach, it's very, very useful to have a Chromebook because at least I know they're doing something when I'm not there.
Uh-huh.
So I think that that's going to be an interesting topic of days to come.
Yeah. Be making copies again for sub plans instead of putting something in Google Classroom.
Well, but the problem is you have accountability from the state that they have to have so much experience in technology.
Right.
And what does that mean? So there'll have to be some rewriting of some wording in the legislative session if that does happen.
Sure.
The Housing Act passed, sort of, but is now put on hold.
And it passed. I mean, it passed.
It passed. It's sitting on the desk.
It's going to become law regardless. Trump just canceled his signing until he passed the SAVE Act. It's ceremonial. If Congress went into recess for the July 4th holiday in the summer, then it could be vetoed with a pocket veto.
Yep.
But because they're just taking a little short break for July 4th, and then they're coming right back, if Trump doesn't sign it, it becomes law 10 days after.
The verbiage changed because of it's not in recess. Is it just a break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If they actually went into recess and the 10 days expired when they were in recess, that's what happens. They could go on break till, as I understand it, because we're not constitutional scholars either, they could go on break until July 9th. But, if they're in session on July 10th and that's when the 10 days expires, then it becomes,
Gotcha.
law without his signature.
Makes sense.
I'm just a bill. I'm only a bill, and I'm going to Capitol Hill. There's your civics lesson for the day: pocket vetoes and not signing bills. But there's a lot of things.
I had to explain what a pocket veto was to my students, by the way.
Yeah.
They're like, what is a pocket veto? I'm like, literally the president just used to stick it in the law in his pocket
and not sign it.
Yeah. And that's why it was called a pocket
and
veto.
if they go into recess, then
it stays in the pocket.
It dies. He doesn't have to actually veto it, and it just gets vetoed. So this was a bill, a law. Now, I guess it's not technically a law yet, but will be maybe by the time next record. But that would keep or make it more difficult for big institutional investors to buy up a bunch of residential properties, which is making housing prices skyrocket, making it harder for people to buy homes.
Yes.
Because these investors, are buying these and renting them out. And that's driving prices up. So it's widely supported, bipartisan. If Trump did veto it today, they have the votes to overturn the veto. So that's another reason why he just is doing the pocket thing and not actually vetoing it, because they've got enough votes in both houses or on the Senate to overturn the veto. There are other things attached to this. It removed some bank regulation, increased thresholds.
Yeah, I saw that.
For bank regulations. So
sounds like we're going to have another Big Short.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's not that kind of bank regulation.
It was a joke. It fell flat on the accountant on the podcast.
Not only the accountant, but the accountant who's spent his time in banking. It's like, no, sir. But it's funny because I just had lunch with a friend on Wednesday last week, which is when this happened. He was supposed to sign it Wednesday morning, And so I had lunch with a friend that we worked together, both in the banking space. So we were talking a lot about it because he's still at a bank. And so they were like excited because it would have raised their regulation threshold.
Gotcha.
And take away some of the regulation off of them. And then it didn't happen. But yeah, it's still going to become law. It was officially delivered today by Speaker Johnson's office to the president. So that's why the clock starts today instead of last Wednesday when Trump was supposed to sign it. But the House Act will become law just, about 10 days from now instead of last week.
I think the hearing today, or excuse me, the Supreme Court decision today changes my perspective on the SAVE Act. So I want to kind of talk. I'll let you kind of explain all this because you wrote it all out. But
yeah, so we've got a lot of Supreme Court decisions coming down right now, which is kind of common in the summertime. The court releases a lot of its decisions after it goes into recess, for lack of a better word. It goes out of session. And so it was a 5-4 decision. So you have basically three Democrat-appointed justices on the court, 6. And so a lot of times you get those kind of 6-3 down to party lines type of decisions. This one was 5-4. So Amy Coney Barrett, appointed by Trump, and Chief Justice John Roberts, appointed by W. Bush, who joined the 3 Democrat-appointed justices to basically say that Mississippi is allowed to continue accepting mailed-in ballots that were postmarked on Election Day, but they can receive them up to 5 business days after Election Day. So the Justice Alito, Clarence Thomas, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh, who Trump appointed those last 2, all dissented. Alito's dissent argued that the law, in quotes, flouts the plain meaning of Election Day, if we're going to accept ballots after Election Day, allowing absentee ballots to, quote, pour in over the days and weeks after Election Day. Not really weeks, Justice Alito, and I like you a lot. But there are people that are going nuts on this that don't say, oh, just Roberts got us again. Amy Coney Barrett is why is it these Republican-appointed women justices, because Sandra Day O'Connor's another example. She was appointed. He kind of went more towards the liberal side of things when she was on the court. Why are they doing this? Listen, shoot me too, but I don't really have a problem with it.
I don't either.
Because I think if you want to address this, address who can use a mail-in absentee ballot.
There you go.
That's what needs to be addressed. But if you're saying that someone has to get their ballot postmarked, 3, 4, 5 days before Election Day, meaning they can't take into account things that may happen in the news prior to Election Day to get their vote counted, I think that's stupid. I think 5 days is reasonable. It's postmarked on Election Day. It means they send it in on Election Day.
Right.
And if it takes the dadgum horrible USPS 5 days to get it to you, then that's what it takes to get it to you. But I think if you should address this by addressing who can use an absentee ballot. Now, if you have,
there you go.
30% of the votes are mail-in absentee ballots, that's a problem. But that's the problem. Not that they're allowing them to come in 5 days after Election Day when they were submitted and voted and postmarked on Election Day.
I don't have a problem with it at all. I think that's where the SAVE Act comes in. I think you have to have a way to determine who is exactly voting. And at the moment, some states don't have that.
Right.
I mean, and that's the end of the conversation.
It simply should be a cross-reference. I have a driver's license number, I have a passport number, I have lots of different numbers, I have a social security number. There should be in the system, I voted on this day and I voted in person.
Yes.
Now, if a ballot shows up 5 days later with my name on it or my identifying number on it, then that's a problem.
Yes.
Then
that should be a contested vote.
Then that's a contested, gets put in a separate pile. And if we need to count that pile because the numbers are so close, then we will. If we don't, we don't. That's what needs to be addressed. And if you're out there saying we shouldn't have any mail-in ballots, you're just flat wrong.
Yeah.
You have people who are homebound. You have people in assisted living. You have people who are, can't get home, overseas, military or otherwise.
Yep.
You can't completely take away a mail-in balloting. You can restrict it. These states that don't have any restrictions allow anybody and their brother to have a mail-in ballot. That's a problem. But that is the problem to address, not that we have postmarked ballots on Election Day coming in 5 business days later.
That's exactly where I was going to go. I don't even have another.
We agree
put
too much.
A bow on that. But no, that's okay. To take Caroline Leavitt's common sense, that's common sense.
Yes.
Like if the election's on Tuesday, we should know by next Saturday who those votes.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't sound, that's common sense.
Well, mail-in balloting there shouldn't be more people, like enough people sending in mail-in ballots to really sway the election, unless it is just like incredibly close, which we've had some nail biters.
Yes.
Okay. But there shouldn't, in most cases, there shouldn't be enough to make a difference where you can just say, we don't even need to count the mail-ins because the margin of difference is larger than our mail-in ballot total.
But what is happening now is like what happening in the LA mayor primaries. You had 20,000 votes dumped overnight. And they were all...
And just every night after. Like,
it's just like, that's the kind of stuff that people like who don't really pay attention like you and I do. And you're like, wait a minute, 20,000 votes came in 7 days after the election. There's something fishy there.
Yeah.
And we can't have fishy
out of that
elections.
20,000 votes, not a single one of them is for Spencer Pratt. That's what's additionally fishy about it.
That's wild.
And then when they started getting more votes in after that, they're like, well, let's throw some in there for Spencer because this looks wild.
Yeah.
That's what looks fishy about it.
Yeah. And that's the thing where I can't wrap my brain around where someone who's looking at that is like, so you're telling me that 20,000 people voted and they all voted for the same person and they all mailed in their ballots at the same time.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Interesting.
That doesn't add up.
That doesn't add up.
Like even numbers doesn't add up.
That doesn't sound right.
It doesn't. That's common sense.
I don't know.
I don't know. Common sense is not always.
You might want to take a look at that. I'm no genius.
But I do you have anything else to add to that? Because to me, that's just a common sense. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, I don't really like that. But then as I read into it more, I'm like, okay, so there is a limit on how long they can come in.
Right.
It's 5 days.
5 days.
And I don't think, I do like what was that?
I don't know.
I do like what he says though about the day. I do like election day. I do think it should be a holiday. I think it should be a federal holiday where everything shuts down every 4 years on a presidential election and everybody can go vote.
And I do my absolute level best to vote on election day each year, but some years I do have to vote early, but I still get to vote.
Yes, I still do. Data centers. Oh my, where have we gone?
Well, I had to put this on there because there's a new one coming up basically in between where you and I live.
Yeah.
And we live pretty close to each other. So, and I mean, it is just, my feed is flooded with sign the petition, sign the petition, sign the petition. And like, first of all, this is where we say we're not data center experts. But all of the talk about, you're not going to have any water. Like, no, like, of course they use water to cool their systems, but it's a closed loop. Like,
we should have a data center expert on. We know one. Indirectly do one. We have a friend of the show, Tracy. He's actually in South Carolina. He texted me today, hey, when's the new episode coming up? He's a data center expert. We should have him on.
We should have him on just to talk about this because, like I say, I don't know. I know what I read, but here's something that friend of the show, Representative Brent Money, said to us when he was on the podcast, and I agree with wholeheartedly. Data centers are going to be built.
Yes.
And if we don't build them here, they're going to be built in China.
Yes.
And China is going to own all that data. So find a way for it to happen here so it doesn't happen in China, because one of the podcasts I was listening to really described this in a great way. Like, so Elon Musk is working on building basically almost like international space stations that orbit, or on the moon, data centers.
Yes.
That's one of this genius guy's projects that he's working on.
It's like a Phineas and Ferb episode.
That basically will put these data centers out in space for us to be able to use. I've never watched that show. I've never seen a single episode of it. I'm not getting the reference, but somebody else did.
My son did for sure, if he's listening.
But the way he described this, it was so like, I was like, I had an aha moment, is that Elon Musk is the John D. Rockefeller of our age.
Yes.
John D. Rockefeller built the railroads. Carnegie built the railroads. And Elon Musk, with data centers and Tesla and SpaceX and building dadgum rockets, is building the railroads that is going to transport what needs to. information is the commodity today,
Right.
not goods and services.
Right.
Or goods, I should say. So the railroads transported the goods. Now information is the commodity. Information is what's valuable. And Elon Musk is building the railroads for that information to be transmitted. It's really interesting.
That's a great way to put it. I hadn't thought about it like that.
And like there are a lot of people who are against it. Against the railroads. Didn't want the railroads coming through. We're sabotaging the railroads and blowing up and like killing even the railroad workers when that happened. And so you're kind of seeing that same thing. It's just, over a century later.
Watching Elon and all of the things that he's doing, I'm like, to take like as my kid would say, a 0.5 view of it. Like it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just from a bird's eye view, I guess I should say. I was trying to explain to them, by the way, about like what, I don't know, they call it something else, but I had said, oh, this is a fisheye shot.
Yeah.
Because it was like it was an older video. And I was like, yeah, that's a fisheye shot. And they're like, what? I'm like, it's a 0.5. And they're like, oh, okay. But anyways, it's fun to watch it from that perspective of like, we may literally see a data center in our lifetime on the moon.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he's shooting rockets in the air into space and then catching them.
And he's made it profitable.
Yeah.
He's made it like sustainable and profitable. Whereas no one's ever done that.
No. It's cool.
Like I say, he's shooting rockets in the air and catching them. A lot of hate on that guy. First trillionaire.
Yeah. He made 4,000 employees millionaires. You see that? SpaceX.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool too.
That's kind of cool.
I was trying to explain that to my wife, but I did not do a good job of it. I was like, how does the lunch lady become a millionaire?
Stock.
Yeah, I know, but it's just crazy that like
she stayed with the company, kept stock.
Man, I wish education gave us stock. I ain't becoming a millionaire no time soon. But any big plans for the 4th?
I mean, we're gonna blow a lot of stuff up. We're gonna head out to family. Can't do that in the neighborhood, allegedly. So we're gonna head out to the family, and we're gonna. It's America 250. We're gonna blow a hole in the ground, y'all. We're rednecks and we're in Texas. Like it's what's gonna happen. Like
I've never been one for fireworks, but we're going over to some friend's house, and I don't know if they're those people or not. They do not listen to the podcast, so I'll keep you updated on how that goes.
Yeah,
they're pretty level-headed people,
and I enjoy it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So. Little short week on the work. Got the 4th of July coming up on Saturday. Going to watch some more World Cup soccer, and then on the weekend, blow some stuff up, go out on the boat a little bit.
Make sure you have all your 10 digits when you come back.
Have a little fun. Yeah, I love those posts where it says it has all the X-ray images, and it'll be like a fire department or an EMT or something.
Yeah.
It'll be like, this is the last weekend. A lot of people are going to have all 10 fingers. Like, you're right. Or JPP. Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah, don't JPP it. We are still going to be, the goal I said at the beginning, I don't know if we're recording yet, but the goal is to be finished moving in by Wednesday of this week. So we got 2 more days to be completely finished. That process was enjoyable. Not the moving part, but like the building of the home.
Yeah.
Watching it kind of come to fruition. Watching my wife's vision come together. She sends me all these chat GPT things. I'm like, oh, okay, great. Yeah. Then she got mad at me because I don't have an opinion. I'm like, I can tell you when I don't like something, but everything
I love that part of it. Like
that's why I married her. I like what she brings to the table.
That and like the homemaking part with your spouse.
Oh,
like,
it's awesome.
That is like so underrated of like how awesome it is. We put new shelves in our bedroom. Game changer.
Really?
Just new shelves. And then we're about to get some new furniture for the upstairs area.
Okay.
Because we had furniture and like the older stuff goes upstairs to the playroom and the new stuff comes downstairs when we moved into this house. And so it's like, it just doesn't work with the space.
Yeah.
And so we've been in this house. We're for like 4.5 years now. And so we're like, all right, we got to have a change. So I saw something on Nebraska Furniture Mart and I'm like, order. And we're going to get this. It's going to work with the space better because they got a foosball table up there. They got a basketball goal up there and like a boxing thing they can hit and plus the TV and like, so they need these more modular, fun furniture that they can move around. So that we're moving that and like that kind of stuff. I just love it. Like we found an idea and like game changer about the home planning with the wife.
I forgot how much I enjoy doing projects.
Yeah.
Like I took some old wood that we had, a bed that we did. I took it apart and kept all the wood, and then I built some shelves that went into it. I didn't really build it. I cut them and then put it all together. I forgot how much I like that. And we've been into Lowe's, probably 8 times in the last week, and I haven't been to Lowe's in probably 6 to 8 years because we haven't owned a home.
Yeah.
And it's been fun to get to go to do that again. I just enjoy it. It's fun.
I'm a serial project guy. If you know me and you're listening to the podcast, you're cracking up when I say that because there's always people every time they come to the house are like, "Oh, you changed this."
Yeah, if you just watch the podcast.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it's completely different from when we started.
Yeah, and
you haven't changed it in a while though.
Several variations in between. No, we've been working on other parts of the house. The garage is done. The garage is set up.
Awesome.
Although, I don't know, homeowners, people who like to do projects, if you've seen these, they're not new. They've been around, but I'm about to drop my garage door openers.
Okay.
And get the ones that just go on the side of the door on the rail.
Oh.
And so they raise your garage door. Like there's no big chain and everything coming into the garage. They snap on.
I have not seen that.
They bolt on the side of the garage rail up against the wall where the garage door is, and they spin the spring up top and raise it that way.
Oh.
And so you get rid of the big hanging. You can't see them; they're on camera, but we're looking at them right now. If you look at it, the big garage door opener things and the chain and all that, and they're a lot quieter.
Okay.
So
I'll have to check that out.
That'll be the next thing that changes in the garage.
Because I hate those things.
Yeah.
God, I hate those things. Oh, okay.
Now, what's really cool, my brother-in-law has roll-up doors on his garage. Like they're not commercial; they're residential roll-up doors, and you put those above there, and then it's just a box above your door. There's no rails or anything, which I don't know. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a company out of Houston that makes
expensive.
those. They are a little pricey for that. His garage is man-caved out even more than mine.
Oh,
so
man.
I'll probably put
That's
those
probably
new.
triple the size too.
It is a 3-car, yes. Not triple the size. It's a third larger. But I'm going to get rid of the openers, and I'm probably going to paint the rails black and paint the ceiling and the doors black, and that will kind of take them out of view. A little flat black on that.
Okay.
Take away the chrome stainless steel look. So.
Okay, I like it.
But, I'll have to get my onions off of there before I do that because my onions are hanging from one of the rails right now.